Welcome to the DRBF webinar with DRBF staff, Ann Russo and Kimberly Peterson, walking you through the DRBF's new website. Now, 2020 has been a very unusual year for us, and it's presented a lot of challenges. And one of the things about challenges is that it also provides opportunities. So during the year, we did have the opportunity to review all of our back-end IT materials, and the website came up as an area that was going to need some changes, and it became an opportunity for us to make it a very positive change for our members. So we did a bit of research and went with a system that is very user focused on our members' needs. And so therefore we have a lot of new functionality that we feel is in line with the comments and the requests that we've been getting from our members over the past couple of years. And I hope that you will find it to be something that is a very positive move forward for the DRBF's website, and something that helps you in your daily work and in your connection to other DRBF members. Now, this is a webinar that is being recorded today, so we do invite you to say hello in the chat. I see a few friends already saying hello, and also to drop in any questions that you may have, which we will field at the end. Now, you might want to wait until about the second half of the webinar, as Kim may cover some topics that you already have in mind. There are certain things that we've been getting inquiries on, and so we wanted to make sure to address those with you today. But we will definitely want to take that extra time at the end of the session to answer your questions. So don't hesitate to pop something in the chat, and we'll be sure to address it. Now, Kimberly is going to share her screen and bring up the DRBF's website, and use this as the opportunity to walk you through some of the key features that we think you will find important and valuable. So Kim, you want to take it away?
Thank you, Ann. Yeah, so this is the new website. We're excited to share it with you. This has been a project of ours for about, well, a good 3 months now. There's content being constantly added, which we'll talk about some of that here a little bit later. The first thing I want to bring your attention to is everyone got an email about resetting your password. So the information from our old website did not carry over. For that, we apologize, but there's only so much we can do. But that does mean that you need to reset your password. So anything you had previously will not work in this system. So in order to do that, you want to click this member login button here at the top. And when I click that, you'll get this box. Now mine's already filled in because I have set this for the test purposes. However, you probably won't have anything here. What you'll want to do is go to this reset password link. And that will take you to putting in your email address, and it will set you a password reset email. So we have heard from people saying they aren't getting this email, and my guess is that's probably a firewall issue, or it could be going to your spam or your junk folders. So please check those once you've set this. And if you don't see it in about 15 minutes, just give me an email, and I can set the password for you manually. But do check those 2 folders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as my test profile here, and this will bring you to your welcome screen. So this will tell you some basic information. Obviously, it tells you what your membership level is. This is your organization. It says welcome to your name. And this is our landing page. So a couple things I want to bring your attention to is when you're logged in, these quick links here on the right change. So when you're not logged in, they have different selection sets, but when you are logged in, these are specific to members. So I wanted to bring your attention to that because we will be referring to these quick links kind of throughout this tutorial, if you will. The first thing I want to bring your attention to from this screen is the My Profile. So this link right here, the My Profile, and the update your profile are the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter which one you click, they'll take you to your profile. And this is where you're going to update, add, change information. And that will bring you to this screen. Apologize for a little slow loading here. So this brings you to the information. Now, during renewal process, if you have not renewed yet, you will be asked to enter some basic information to capture that for our database. There are additional fields that you can complete when you go into your profile. So not all of those fields are available during the renewal process. So I encourage you all to log in and update those fields that we aren't asking for, such as your CV, a basic summary, that kind of information. So here I've pre-populated some of this information. Now, if I want to change anything, I simply click this edit button, and this brings me to all these different fields that I can change. If I say, oh, I forgot to add this publication, I'm going to say I wrote the book of awesome, and that's my publication. So I would just make sure any changes I make that I click this save button. I want to call your attention to the regional communication preferences. This is new this year. We have a lot of people who are interested in cross-regional communications. So the DRBF is set up in regions, as many of you know, based on your location. And for voting purposes, that's the region you're assigned to. However, you can get communications from other regions. So for anyone in, like, say, the US that's working in Latin America, or anybody in the UK who's just interested in what's going on in Australia, I encourage you to make sure you check whichever preferences you're interested in. So I can check as many of these as I want, or as few as I want. I do encourage you to check at least one. So I want to draw your attention to that. One thing that I do also want to call your attention to is back up here in the member CV section. So this is where you can upload any kind of document, PDF, Word, whatever format essentially you would like. And this is where you can put your CV in that people will be able to view from the member directory and the member search.
Kim, I'd like to comment on that for a moment.
Absolutely.
The CV really is an important component of the member profile if you are serving as a dispute board practitioner. We do have users who come to our member directory looking for qualified candidates to put on a list to share with the other party. And so they will go through and look for people who have the expertise and maybe geographic region that they want their members to be in. And they'll download the CV to share with the other parties. A lot of times they want to do that on their own before contacting potential candidates. So if your profile is not up to date or your CV is not loaded, it really can result in a missed opportunity without you even being aware of it. So if you are interested in serving as a dispute board practitioner, do make sure you take the time to upload your CV and get your profile current. And every year, I would say it's good practice to regularly review it and update it. A common thing I'll see is I have 30 years of experience. And so by next year, it should say 31. So you want to make sure that you're just keeping things fresh, adding new training, adding articles that you've written, or anything that might be relevant to the end user. Now, Kim, we're already getting a lot of comments in the chat about photo, and I know you're going to cover it because it's been a popular topic. So before you transition to that, I just want to mention Kim's test photo here is from her ranch. So a little insight to Kim. She does live on a ranch and have a lot of cattle. So we'll let you share how to do that photo next.
Absolutely. And one quick tip on the CV that Ann and I discussed yesterday and thought it would be a good thing to share with you is to make sure your naming convention makes sense. So if you upload a CV and then the file name makes sense to you, it might not necessarily mean anything to anyone else. So it's important maybe to put your name, Kimberly Peterson, and then the date of my resume. So maybe Kimberly Peterson 2020, .12 or something like that. So that people know and that you remember what version it is that you have on the website and know when to update it. Just as a quick tip. So one thing we do get a lot of questions about is how to update your profiles or up your profile photo. And while this doesn't seem very intuitive, once you see it, it makes sense. So what people don't know is when you hover over this, you actually get a menu. So this My Profile gives you all kinds of options here. And the top one is change your profile photo picture. So if I click that, it will give me the option to upload a different photo. So now what I do is now I can click this box and I can upload a different picture here. And let me find my desktop. And I'm going to upload a different photo, which is another passion of mine. So that was a baby cow, just born this year, in fact. And this next one, I'm hoping my internet will cooperate with me. Might take a bit. Remember, it was a pretty large photo. Well, sorry, folks, bear with us here. It'll come up here in just a second.
It's actually a good reminder that your internet connectivity can be an issue if you feel that your website, if you feel that there's something wrong with the website, that it's not loading or it's not doing things with the speed or you're timing out. As with most tech things, sometimes you have to log off and log back in or clear out your cache or your cookies on your website and see if that helps smooth things over.
Well, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Both of my children are virtual right now, and we do have school going on. So I'm guessing that my bandwidth is a little constrained at the moment. But if this were to load, you would see that the picture would load, and you are able to crop the image. So if it comes up, maybe a little odd, or you want to focus more on one part of the photo versus another. Oh, it just showed up! Yay! So you can crop this image and it gives you a box. So I can kind of drag, I can change where I want it to be. I want to highlight this section instead. So I'm going to crop my image and then that's the image and I just click save. And now my profile photo has been updated. There's also the things about changing your password. So this basically brings you back to that same sort of reset password link where you're going to have to enter your email and send yourself an email about a password reset. Now, from that screen, you'll notice it's hard for me to get back to that menu I was at. And that's why we have this quick link over here. That's the member homepage. And that will bring you right back to this welcome screen, back into my profile, and then back into these options again. So that's a fast way to get back into from anywhere on the website. When you're logged in, this member homepage is always going to be showing. So you can always get back to your profile. The one thing too I want to bring your attention to is your contact preferences. So this is where you're going to tell us what kind of information you want to get from us. So there's mailing list preference. This is receiving newsletters, announcements. This is just a toggle. You can turn it off. We have the discussion forum, which we'll go into just shortly. But this is where you can decide with different forums, do I want to see just new topics? Do I want to select certain topics? Do I want to see all topics and replies? That's probably a lot of notifications. Or I can say no, I just want to check the forum when I want to check it, and that's good for me. So this is where you're going to control all of those items. I'll bring your attention to the global unsubscribe. I recommend not doing this. This basically will keep any kind of communications from coming to you except for renewal notices. And part of being in the DRBF is getting those communications from us, getting the newsletters, getting our forum, hearing what's going on with the organization. So if you do click this global unsubscribe, just know that you won't get any notices from us except for a renewal notice. So that's what those contact preferences are. One thing I will draw your attention to that most won't have that the screen does is the My Features tab. And that's if you're part of a committee or a board. And we on the back end as administrators will assign you to a committee or a board. And that's where you're going to be able to go and interact with those, with the boards or the committees. So you won't see the My Features unless you are part of those. So I just wanted to call your attention that the test profile has this just to draw your attention to it, but don't panic if you don't have it. Go back to here. Message history. This is a good one because if you say, gosh, I don't remember seeing that newsletter, or someone's talking about this newsletter and I don't remember seeing it, this will tell you all the messages we've sent to you. And it'll tell you, like, obviously my test email is not an active email, so it's bounced. So this will tell you whether your email has bounced, whether it's been sent, whether it's been read. And if you didn't get it, you can always click into that message from that menu. So this is a great place for history of communications from us. The next thing I want to show you is invoices. I don't have anything on this test profile currently. However, when you renew, you will see all of your invoices here, even for events. So any invoice that you has been generated for you can be accessed through that option, and you can print it anytime you want to. So if you printed it, sent it to your accountant, they lost it, you can come back here, reprint it, resend it. It'll be available to you at any time. And then lastly, I'll call your attention to submissions. This one isn't so important, but maybe for interest's sake, I don't have any for this profile either. However, if you complete any form on the website, so as you complete renewal forms, as you complete event forms, that kind of thing, that will show here as a submission for you. This will come into play as we unveil our publications submissions. So there's an initiative that we're working on for submitting papers, and we will have a form for those submissions, and those will be showing under this menu when you submit a paper. So I think that kind of covers
before you move off the profile, we have had a question from our friend Florin in Romania. He said that when he went to put in a short summary of his bio, it only accepted a sentence or two. So is there a character restriction to that particular box that people need to be aware of?
There is, and I don't recall. I want to say it's, I think I have it set to 250 words, I believe. It might be as high as 500, but I think it's set to about 250 to 300. If we find that people are running into that issue, we can always up the character count for it. But the idea behind that is to, go ahead.
He's requesting an increase, so let's take a look at that.
Yep, we'll take a look at that. The idea of that summary is to not obviously put your entire CV in the summary. It's to give a good synopsis of your work experience and your history. So that's kind of why we sort of limited it. Otherwise, people might write a novel, and it's a lot to wade through. So
Sure.
let your CV speak for you and make your summary shine. So that's my tip.
So another question in the chat is about changing your username. And I think the username is just directly linked to the profile fields, correct?
Correct. You cannot change the username that is set on the back end, and typically your username is just your email. If you do change your email, I will also change your username to match.
Very good.
Do we have any other questions on the profile, or shall we move on?
That's it on the profile. So let's move on to the next section.
So still sticking with the member landing page, the next thing I'll draw your attention to is there's the event calendar, which is also the same link as what you'll see in the main header here. And we'll come back to that, but I'd like to touch on the community forum here. So this is brand new this year, and we're hoping we get people involved. We've set up some basic categories. So like these larger gray banners are the larger categories, and then we have some discussion topics below. If you imagine this being a bulletin board, and the topics here are, imagine drawing lines on that bulletin board, and that's what these are. And then on that bulletin board, there's going to be posts inside of each of these, and consider those like sticky notes that you're thumbtacking onto your bulletin board. So these are divided into categories and just some topics. So you can click into these, and right now we don't have anything populated because we're waiting. We want you members we want you to use this. This is a great place for you to have discussion back and forth with other members, get other people involved. This is just a general discussion forum. So it's very easy. You just select a new topic. And my topic is who else likes to do outdoor activities? I love to rock climb. Are there any other? Excuse my typing here. So with these posts, you can upload files, and this might come in handy with the bulletin board where you can promote your own event. So say you're part of a speaking engagement and another association, and you want to promote that with the other members, like, hey, I'm speaking here. You can upload an agenda, a program. You can, upload flyers, that kind of thing. But obviously with this one, I don't have that. So I'm just going to, you can preview the message, but I'm just going to submit this message. And now you'll see that under the general discussion, we now have a topic: who else likes to do outdoor activities? And I think Anne might post on that, and we'll get a reply there. Let's see, she's on mute. She's on mute. You're on mute. You're talking, but you're on mute. So to go back, this is
the wrong forum. That's what's the lag. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha. So to get back to the main message board, you go to the board index. That's not exactly intuitive, but that's what we got to deal with. So the board index will bring you back to the overall boards. Now you'll note down here we have spaces for regional discussions. So we're trying to get these more pared down to the regions. So if you're in the Northwest and you want to ask other practitioners that, anything specific to the Northwest, by all means post there. Anyone can see these. So even though it says Northwest, I encourage you, if you're in Brazil and you want to see what's going on, go ahead and log in there and see what's happening. But these will take people posting topics for these to really get going. Some might not have anything, some might have a lot. So I encourage you to start using this, log in regularly to the website. The forums are a great place to have interaction with your fellow members. Let's see. Did we reply?
If you refresh, I did answer.
There is an answer. So you can see that Anne has now posted on here. And I can see what she replied to. Perfect. So this, you can just see it's an interactive, very quick way to communicate with other people. You can sort this by latest posts. So the latest one's going to be Anne coming up. Here's my initial post. There's the one that Anne replied to. I will say that's the forum profile. So this is different than your overall DRBF profile. This is your forum discussion profile. So in here, I can put in different things, like my location. I have Central Oregon. That's where I'm at. I have a signature that goes on all of my posts. So, that could be my signature, and it'll show on the bottom of all of my posts. You don't have to use that. It's not necessary. If you want to, if you're an active, discussion board poster, maybe you want to have something on there. I've seen if you ever look for technical support online, you'll see people who are, an expert in my field since 1996 or something like that. You'll see people have those kinds of tags in their profiles, but that's not a necessary thing. You can see what your posts are. So anytime that you've posted, it'll list here. And then pending posts will be if you post something and we have a board that's moderated. So we might assign moderators to specific boards. Right now, nothing is moderated, so posts will be will show up as soon as you hit post. In some cases, we may want to review. Maybe it's a controversial topic or something. I don't know. I can't imagine why we would have to moderate. But if we do have a moderation, you'll see if you have a pending post here, and then as soon as it's approved, it would come off the list. I see chat coming up. I'm not sure if people are just commenting or if there's questions going on. So if you need to stop me, let me know, Anne.
No, we're good.
Go back to my homepage here. I think, one thing I want to draw your attention to, this is also new this year, is the recruit the new members. So we're looking to you to promote the DRBF with your colleagues. And this we're hoping will help you with those talking points. So we do have this new membership recruitment toolkit. I will note that this is in process, so you can see the coming soon. There's some of these coming soons throughout the website as we add content. We will have some a brochure. We'll have all these documents will be have a link behind them that you can print off. You're welcome to share. We encourage you to share. But right now they obviously are not active, and we're working on those behind the scenes. So hopefully we'll have these up here in the next, month or so.
Yeah.
But I wanted to draw your attention to that.
And I'd just like to say that, of course, people should modify them as appropriate. If you're writing to a colleague, you'll want to put in the things about the DRBF that would be of most interest to them. So the point of that toolkit is just to give you resources to empower you to be an ambassador for the DRBF in helping expand our team of members in the association. So just keep that in mind. We'll try to put them in as native files so that you can modify them as needed. And then if you have some custom requests, something specific that you need, I'll give an example. Sometimes I'll have someone reach out and say, I want to reach out to someone in the airport industry. Can you give me a couple of examples of big programs that have used dispute boards so I can mention that to them? So if there's some customization that you need a little bit of staff assistance on, by all means, reach out to any of us and we're happy to help.
And on that recruitment page is this little phrase down here. If you need a special presentation, contact Anne. Her email is obviously written there. You can also link to it. We're happy to help you be that ambassador.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the other thing to call your attention to, as she was saying, contact DRBF staff under About Us. You can go to DRBF staff, and there is all of the staff listed there with our emails and our roles within the organization. People ask us oftentimes, well, I'm not quite sure who to send an email to. By all means, send it to Anne, send it to me. We all work great together. Our team is fantastic. We are very tight knit. If I'm not the right person, I certainly know who to get it to, and I'm, no one's offended if you get sent to the wrong thing. So by all means, just reach out to one of us, and we'll make sure it gets to the right place. So I wanted to bring your attention to that. I think the next thing, so I think that's it for profiles. I was going to move on unless we have any questions specific to profiles.
We have a question, but I think you're going to touch on it, so we'll let you keep going.
Perfect. So the next thing I want to move on to, and we're kind of basically go across these tabs at the top here now. So obviously under About Us, this gives you the boards, the leadership. This covers essentially what you saw on the old website, which is the listings of all the board members, their contact information, as well as
I think
staff.
country representatives is an important one to mention there as well.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Not every country has a DRBF representative, but some certainly do, and that's a quick place for you to find those people and get a connection going with them.
Yep, exactly.
Kind of a little extension of that, Kim, if you could just briefly go to the homepage and show people where we have foreign language pages. I think we do have quite a diverse attendee group today, and I think a lot of people don't realize that we have that feature.
Yes. So we do have pages and translated that are to foreign language. So basically it's a home page. It's not the entire website, but you can see those down here at the bottom. These are the ones that have been provided to us and looked over by the country reps. Some were a little more difficult than others, but if you click on the Chinese, you'll see this welcome page in Chinese, and it has some contact information down here at the bottom. But there are those options down here that basically tells you how to get more information in a native language. So I think those are great resources for us to have, and we'll be adding more as we get those from the country reps, and they'll be down here at the bottom. One thing to note too is there's two ways to get back to home. You can obviously click home, or you can click the logo at the top, and those bring you to the same menu. I think the next thing is there's different pages. You can peruse these. We have a half hour. We have a lot of things to cover still. So you can kind of peruse these, but we do have this option for our strategic partnerships. These bring you to their websites. Some information you'll see listed multiple times within the website itself. Obviously, we have this agreement with FIDIC. We've sent out a notice about that, but these are some great press releases that you can read. I think, let's see here, we've added some some other content, which was not on the website previously. We've added this history. So there's a timeline of dispute boards. And I think this is a great feature at the bottom here, the project that started it all. And there's some history there as well, which I think is some good reading. I think, let's see anything else on that one. I think we can move on. I think unless you have any questions about that, I think it's pretty self-explanatory and you can explore on your own. Coming here to membership, obviously we're logged in still, so you won't see any joining. The only thing you'll see over here, again, as a member quick link is to renew your membership. If you have you not renewed your membership yet and you log into your profile, you'll notice a bar at the top that says renew your membership. So we remind you in many places to renew your membership. If I wasn't logged in, these features would change just a little bit, but just know that the menu, the menus are dynamic. So if you're logged in, you see a little bit different features than if you're not logged in. The one thing I'm going to bring your attention to here is there's member directory and then there's member directory search. So the member directory will bring you to a list of every member in the DRBF. And it's basically a one long list. You can scroll through it if you feel like it. That's probably not the most effective unless you know who you're really looking for. But I think the better option is the directory search, which is also a quick link over here on the right. So when we go to the member directory search, this is where you can start searching members. So part of the reason we've asked you to complete some of this basic information is these are search fields that we think that we feel, and maybe we need to change those a little bit. We'd love your feedback on that. But fields that we hear owners asking us about that they don't always see the information in the profile. So that's why we're asking some of that basic information as you renew this year. So these are all things that you can search by. You can do multiple selections here and click those. You can search by, what somebody is. I'm going to leave this under consultant for now, and we're just going to leave the rest of this blank. And then you just scroll to the bottom and click search, and it'll come up with anyone who's clicked consultant in their profile currently.
Now, an important thing to say is that this search is contingent on the data being in the profiles. So right now, because all of you have just been notified that you need to go in and update your profile, it's not as robust as it should be. So you're getting how many there results?
96 so far.
96, not bad.
Yesterday was 86, I think, when I looked. So we've had some more updates.
Ones are being added. But maybe we have hundreds of members who would qualify in that category. And then they say, why isn't, my friend Joe turning up? I know he should be on this list. And it's because Joe didn't tick the box in his profile. So right now, it might be a little bit of a lag on the search, but that's why we keep emphasizing the importance of getting that profile as updated as possible so that you're turning up in the search and so that people can find you.
Right. And that's why those fields are required when you renew. We feel that by putting pre-populated checkboxes, it's really fast for you to just kind of tick on your way through. And we'll get these fields populated and able to be searchable. So the next thing I want to show is you can go back to your search criteria from this menu and redo a search. So say I want to look for, obviously you can search by state, you can search by country. You can only search like one state at a time or one country at a time. That's one limitation of the system versus our previous one where you were able to do multiple checkboxes. But just note that. The one thing I think is very cool about this search is you can do a proximity search. So say I want to look for anybody in or near Portland, Oregon. I pick Oregon because that's where I'm at. So if I search for that, it will search the entire database and it will list the closest person first. So you can see from Portland, Oregon, Mr. Don Irwin is only 9 miles away. And you'll start seeing as they start getting further and further away down the list. We found out that, who did we decide? It was Mauritius that was the furthest away from me. So that was about 10,000 miles. I think a close second was South Africa. So it's a very unique and interesting search. So if you are looking for someone in, near a certain locale, that proximity search, I think, is a great feature.
Absolutely. I found out that the DRBF member the farthest from me resides in Perth, Australia. So that was a fun little exercise. But I think that'll be useful when people are looking for members who are within a specific geographic zone.
I think so as well. Again, you can access that directory search right here from a quick link.
And from the drop down.
And from the drop down, correct. Yep. You'll see this recruit new members. This is the same as this quick link here. And you can actually this maximize your membership. That's also a link from the main member homepage. So you can peruse those at your leisure. I think the next thing to go through is the events calendar. So let's go there next. So our events calendar, we're hoping to, I need to change the color on that. Apparently it's too close. So we are trying to populate our calendar with as many events as we can, not only to inform our board members and our committee members, as we're going to start running those out of this system as well, but just so you as members know what we're doing here within the organization. It's a way to communicate with you. We plan on having some webinars, very consistent webinars. You'll start seeing those coming up here soon. This is currently in a list format. If you don't like that, you can go to a calendar format if that makes it easier for you. I will note that when you switch up to one of these options up here, you can't get back to list view without just going back to the events calendar here. So just one thing to note, you can get back to it. You just got to kind of start over. You can sort the calendar for specific items. So there's categories. So if I want to look for just webinars, I can click that category and it'll bring up all the webinars. You can change how many items display. So as we obviously get these things scheduled out into the next year, you'll start seeing more and more out into January, February, March. You can change how many items display. You can also change categories by going back to view all categories and, looking at committee meetings. Do I not have any on there? I don't have any on there right now. We have board meetings coming up this month. You can see those on the event calendar. Let's go into one of these really quick. Let's go into our webinar today. I can click into this. It gives me more information, gives me the register here link. Once you click into an event, you can't get back to the list. So again, just click up into the event calendar and it'll give you the overall list again. I think that's about it for the event calendar. Is there any questions on that? See if there's any chats coming up. Okay. I think the next thing to go over is the publications. So you'll note that our library is not showing yet. We have been working behind the scenes to come up with a solution that is user-friendly, effective, and I think is going to be a really great system for our members and our end users. And so we have been working on that system. It is live as far as the admins go, but we have a little bit of cleaning up to do. And so that will be coming very soon. And we're super excited. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be night and day from our previous library, and I think everyone's going to be pretty pleased. And that'll be coming hopefully in the next couple weeks. There may still be some cleanup to do on the back end. You may still see some things changing on it, but we do want to make sure those publications are available to everyone. So we may launch it while we're still doing some of that cleanup on the back end. I see you ticking at me, Anne. Did you have any comments?
No, I'm answering questions in the chat. Sorry.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I just see moving out of the corner of my eye. Perfect. All right. So we can get to a few things. So the forum, we do have listed right now all of the current and past forums are, this is a new system for us. They call it the learning management system. So whenever you hear us refer to the LMS, this is what we're referring to. We will be putting online trainings, any of our conferences that we will be recording that we're going to offer on demand will be in this system. But for now, we're using it as somewhat of a repository for some of these documents in order to make sure that people have access to them. So you will see that there is another login button here. Just so you know, this is not a separate login. This is a single sign-on, so that's fantastic. But you do still have to click this login button at the top. If you are logged in under the main system here, this will recognize that you're signed in. If you are not, that login button will return you to the main system and you'll have to log in. You'll get that login screen here. You'll have to log in and then you'll have to go back to whatever brought you to this system to begin with. So just as a side note that make sure you're logged in here before you ever try and go out someplace to get a document, because it will ask you to be logged in. So as a member, these are all the things that I have access to. I don't necessarily have them currently. So if I wanted to look at details, so if I go to the forum here, this lists all of the forums all the way back to 2001. So you can access any of those. When I click in one of them, it will show me how many volumes, gives me a quick preview of it. I can go back to my homepage here. And yeah, so I think that's good. You can also, once you've, yes.
The manual is a common download and a common area where people butt up on challenges. So maybe you could touch on that one a bit.
Yeah. So the manual is available through this system. We will probably most likely have it on the library as well when we get that up and running. But to make sure that people still have access to it, we wanted to put it on this system. So as you saw, I just clicked into this where it's the dispute board manual. I click into the details. And because I'm a member and because I'm logged in, I'll see this paperclip here. And when I click that, I should be able to see it. Oh, the joys of technology. Why are you not giving this to me? Well, apparently we have a bug. You should be able to click into this and it should be able to give you the manual. So I'll have to look at that. I'll make a note.
So yeah, occasionally there are little bugs that we need to work out. And so do send Kim an email if you come across them, or info@drb.org, and we'll make sure that there's not some error on the back end. But I do think it's helpful, even though she didn't have success here, for you to be able to see that there is a guide on how to download it, because it does need to be downloaded into an e-reader. And that's something that occasionally people need to download first before they're able to actually effectively read the manual on their device, whether it's computer or mobile device. So that's one that is sometimes the error is just not going through the steps. But then sometimes it is a back-end error, and we do want you to notify us so we can get that sorted for everyone. There was a question that came up from John about past issues of the forum, and the answer is yes. Every issue that we've published is available in an archive of the forum. So you have those available to you today.
Yes, absolutely. So let me go back to my screen here. Sorry.
Eugenio asked a question about making the manual a downloadable PDF, and we did make a conscious decision not to do that. So we are sticking with the EPUB version. It is much more user-friendly as long as you have that software to read it. And it is also available, I think it's important to note, some people do like a hard copy. So this is what the hard copy looks like. It's available from any retailer. So you can go online and order it from Amazon or any of the many number of online retailers who might be in your country. It might help if I didn't have it upside down. But also you can get it from a traditional bookstore. So every book has a code on the back, and we can provide that code for you, and you can have your local bookstore place that order for you. So if you like to have paper, it's also available in that format as well.
So I thought I would give you the view if I was actually able to get to this access. So this is my admin view, but when you get access to the manual, you'll be able to click this and it will bring you to right here where you'll be able to download the manual. You can also get that how-to guide that Anne talked about. This is a quick preview of it, but you can also download that as well. So apologize. I will look at that and make sure that everyone has access to it, but let me go back to my other screen here. So that should be clickable. So my apologies. See, I think also we have our the code of ethical conduct. As if you've renewed, you'll see that we ask you to say if you are to serve on a board, you will adhere to the code of ethical conduct. This is where you can find that. I think the renewal form also links to this document. We also have a diversity and inclusion statement that's also on the website, and you can read at your leisure. I think our next tab is training. This is essentially a work in progress. We won't be putting necessarily training events here, but those will be on the calendar. But this is basically just discussing our training program and the options that the DRBF has for end users. You can read that as well when you get a chance. I think one of the next things to cover is the regional hubs. So this is new this year. These are intended to be very dynamic pages. We expect to be updating these quite frequently. This is just the landing page. If you click these links here, it'll take you to the hub for those regions. This was the same as the drop-down menu here. So let me go to here to region 1. You'll see that we have different content on the various regions. Like I said, as these are dynamic, we'll be updating these as we go along. I just updated this yesterday. I published a newsletter for region 1. And anybody who clicked the region 1 communication preferences also received this. So, but this is another place for you to be able to view that in a different format. So let me go to also region 2. Region 2 is a little different. We're, like I said, adding more information here. This has our latest press releases for the FIDIC program. Region 3 has some documents that they asked to have put up and available. So that's where you're going to find this board of directors links directly back to the leadership pages. They have governance documents. Basically you can click through all these and it gives you the documents that are specific to region 3. They have a webinar that they gave just recently that's available to view. You can get that there. And these regional hubs are available to any member, regardless of region. So if you're interested in just saying, hey, what's going on in region 2, pop into there and you can click it and see what's going on. And like I said, check back often because we will be updating these pages pretty frequently. That is the intent. I think that's good for the
And do give us feedback on what you'd like to see there. So that's the other thing. This is meant to be a very active and dynamic section of the site. We want our regional structure is there to facilitate you connecting with members who have like interests and that kind of thing. So, if there's more information that you'd like to see within your regional hub, send that along either to your regional admin or to Kimberly or myself, and we'll be happy to see about expanding that content for you.
Absolutely. And then I think the last item on our agenda here is the awards. So we do give annual awards. And I think this is a nice new feature we've added to our website. I don't know why that's not letting me have access. We'll fix that too. Apparently the landing page doesn't have the right permissions. But we have put it, so we have the Al Matthews Award for Dispute Board Excellence. This is issued every year. Typically awarded at the international conference. So anyone who's attended the international conference has seen those award presentations. Anyway, this gives a quick history on the Al Matthews Award and who Al Matthews was, and also a list of the past winners. I think it's a nice feature. We also have the Excellence in Dispute Board Avoidance and Resolution Award. This is an award that's given in Region 1, and you can read about that here. Also has past recipients of this award. And this will be updated every year, obviously, as we give these awards. I think that concludes the tour of the website. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has and go through anything more specific.
Yep. So drop a question in the Q&A or chat field if there's something that either we've missed or you'd like us to revisit and clarify for you. We've had some very good questions today. There were a couple of questions that were not necessarily website specific, but just more about the DRBF in general, and I've tried to address those as well. But it's a good opportunity for me to give a little promotion to a fireside chat with DRBF's Executive Board, another webinar that we're hosting for members only next week. So Kim's pointing it out on the events calendar. You can go in and register to participate. That will be more of a meeting style, so more of a Q&A opportunity for you to ask our senior leadership questions about the DRBF's activities this past year, as well as plans for the future, and help you feel connected to the vision and mission and philosophy that is behind those initiatives and activities. All right, Kim, looks like we're getting a few more questions. So there's a question about the FIDIC list of adjudicators. FIDIC maintains the FIDIC list of adjudicators, but if you do go to that organizations list that Kim showed under the About Us tab, we do have a hyperlink to FIDIC's website. So you could go there and find what you're looking for. There was also a question about the project database. This is something that was on our previous website, and it has not been updated since about 2018. We have struggled to get input from our members about projects that have dispute boards around the globe. So it's a constant challenge for us. We are happy to receive data from you all. Generally, members just email that data to us and we get it added to the spreadsheet where we're maintaining that information. But we are looking at a couple of alternative ways to gather information, perhaps working with academic and commercial partners who can do a more rigorous assessment of the status of dispute boards in either specific regions or globally. So that is a long-term strategy for the DRBF, but it is something that maybe is missing from our last website to this one because it didn't direct carry over. Now, in the regional hubs, I know Region 3, which is our members in Australia and New Zealand, they keep a list of projects specifically there. And so you will find that spreadsheet in the Region 3 hub. All right. Hamid has asked about this being available to view in the future. Yes, we have been recording, and we will get that link in distribution to all of our members. So you can go back and rewatch if you missed the beginning, and can share it with colleagues who may have missed today's session but are interested in viewing. Someone has asked about the online purchase not being available in their country, but I will follow up with you directly. I'm actually doing a shipment to Southern Africa, and so we can probably figure out a way to get a hard copy to you. So let's correspond directly on email about that one. Are there other questions? Double checking here. John Duke is asking about the board of directors meetings, the agenda and meeting notes. We currently have those available upon request, and typically we ask our board presidents to keep members informed through our other communication vehicles. So for example, we have another edition of the forum coming out this month, and you'll see an address from the president. That's a regular feature in the forum newsletter. If you're a member of Region 1, you will have received or be receiving momentarily an email newsletter. Those are sent with greater frequency than the forum. And this one has an address from the current president and talks a little bit about the activities of the Region 1 board. So I'd very much encourage you to make sure to read those and be aware of the newsletters and materials that are coming to you on a regular basis. That really helps put things, I think, in better context. You will also see that we're going to have more frequent web meetings like this. Going back to my comments at the top of the hour, 2020 brought challenges, but it also brought opportunities. And one of the opportunities is that it made us all much more comfortable with meeting in this virtual way and sharing smaller bits of information on a more regular basis than we did previously. So I don't know that we would, I know the last time we rolled out a new website, we did not have a session like this. And I feel that that's one of the improvements that we've been able to take advantage of that this pandemic has brought into our lives. So you will see more opportunities for engaging directly, not only with the executive board, but also I think the regional boards are having more frequent meetings. We've held a few over the past 2 months, and we already have some in development kicking off in January. So I think that'll be a great way for you to feel more connected to the activities and the decision making, and also make sure that your voice is heard so that board members are keeping that in mind. Someone has asked about our international conference, and it is true also that the pandemic changed dramatically our delivery of conferences in 2020, and it is affecting our planning for 2021. So at the moment, our current plan is to have virtual events in the first half of the year, and then hopefully virtual, hybrid, or in-person events towards the middle to second half of 2021. And some of that will be dependent on what happens in the world as we're moving forward in the weeks and months ahead. The idea of a hybrid will be so that members who can and are willing to meet in person will have an opportunity to do so, but we'll also have the online experience for those who cannot or are not willing yet to meet in person to feel connected to that conference. And the international conference is a primary event for us. It's a place where we bring together the largest number of DRBF members. And so we wanted to find a way to maintain that in 2021. So we did make the hard decision to relocate the physical location from South Africa, which had been the initial plan, to Lisbon, Portugal, where we had previously been planning to have a regional conference. So it sort of got promoted in a sense. And the idea and the reasoning behind that was in part that we have a very large membership base in Europe. And often during this pandemic, European members have been able to move more freely within Europe. So we thought, as far as a location where we could have some people gather in person who are willing and able, that Lisbon is a better location for that than South Africa. So that's in part the reasoning for making that change. We are looking at a couple of other great events in 2021. So we have had a Eastern European regional conference for the past 2 years, and we'll be coming back with that format in March, fully virtual. Then we'll have the international conference in May with hopefully that hybrid event component in Lisbon. We're planning a Latin American conference for the end of August. The regional hub for that is our team in Chile, but it will be of appeal to anyone who is living and working throughout the Latin American countries. We'll have our traditional annual Region 1 conference, hopefully again in person or hybrid in Boston. And then some other regional events, such as our Northwest Regional Conference, which we always hold in June. We had to cancel last year, but we're hoping to be back in business in 2021. Again, cautiously planning how that will look based on what the needs are of our members in that area. And then similarly, we're looking at some events in Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Vietnam. Several places have expressed a need and a desire for events. And so we're still researching how we can put that together. But that's a big overview. So I hope that's helpful to you as you think about your planning. We will be getting that messaging out to you through our newsletter and updates to our website, which we hope you'll be visiting frequently now that you have a little better feel for the site. So we are coming up on the end of our hour. we're happy to stay on and field any additional questions that you may have if you want to pop them in the chat or Q&A. But I know that some folks may want to sign off, and so we're very grateful that you were able to join us today.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yep.
I think Ann and I will stick on for just a couple more minutes and see if anybody has any other questions for us, and then we'll sign off. I do note, Ann, that John Duke mentioned the hybrid events and how he prefers those because he's not one to travel. I do think that's something that we're continuing to look at in future offerings, even as we go forward, recognizing that we do have some members that would love to attend events, but maybe don't travel as much as others. So I think that's something that we will consider certainly going forward, pandemic or no, with our events in the future.
I think that that's been one of the blessings of this past year, is that it showed us the appetite for people being able to connect through the virtual space and the need for it. And also that it's effective. If organized and designed properly, it can really be an effective tool for folks. And we do want to make sure that we are being as accessible to our members as possible. And it's challenging to address over 1,000 members in 70 different countries. And so I see it as an expansion of our offerings, and I'm glad that we're able to do that.
We also have issues of members maybe not being able to travel or get visas in time to travel to the conference. So those hybrid options are certainly, very advantageous for those members. So yeah, definitely something we'll consider.
Yeah, that's a great point. Members should also, as we move forward, you're really going to see more video links and clips. We have a YouTube channel. And so you'll be able to, extend the life of those educational experiences and go back and revisit them. So that's something that will continue to grow and be populated on our website as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any new questions.
I'm not either. Yeah.
Nice comments for happy holidays, and we certainly wish you all the best as well. And hopefully we'll see some of you at the fireside chat next week.
Yes. Make sure you register. That's on the event calendar. Thanks for joining.
And I also put the link in the chat.
Perfect. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Happy holidays, everybody, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.